Welcome to Conversations in Between the Realms, a podcast where the mystical meets the everyday. Join Amanda Nova and Beth Renov each week as we dive into the profound journey of awakening, sharing our experiences, insights, and the lessons that guide us toward our divine purpose. Together, we awaken and guide our souls and others, exploring the magic of living in the 3D while staying connected to the higher realms, embracing the challenges, and celebrating the growth. You've been guided here for a reason. Trust in the journey and let the unfolding begin.
Hello and welcome back to Conversations in Between the Realms. I'm Amanda Nova and I am here with the lovely Beth Renov, and today we're going to be talking about where energy lives within the body, your somatic emotions and where they live in the body. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on lately, and it's just felt so heavy and like I feel like we always start this out by being like, how are you feeling? And it's terrible. How are you feeling?
You know what's really weird is I felt like I had a Bartonella flare, but I'm like, I mean, there is a full moon coming, but it's been since like last week. Like just having like very flary kind of things, and emotionally, I am just like, I don't know, kind of all over the place.
Yeah. I feel like the beginning of the week, I felt like I was moving through mud. And I felt that chronic illness fatigue. Like, I feel like it's like the fatigue of the co-infections and the Lyme, or like the chronic illness fatigue of like bone tired, where you feel like you're moving through mud, where you like cannot even function. Like my eyes were closing. Like I was literally like on my computer and like my eyes were closing and I was like falling asleep. That's how I felt in the beginning of the week. And like everything just feels so exhausting. Like I have no motivation. And that's been lifting a little bit, but now I'm just feeling agitated. Like I feel really bothered. Like everybody's irritating me. And not like not everybody, like you're not irritating me, but like everybody in like my house is irritating me.
Yes. Everybody you're like near physically is like, please stop interacting with me in all forms.
Yes. Like I have my phone on do not disturb because like I just don't want to be bothered. Like I don't want to be touched. I feel very overstimulated, and like there's this, it's like there's this term called touched out. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like very like it's a term that they use like for, you know, moms,
mothers.
but like it's I think it works for everybody that has a nervous system that's sensitive. Like that's how I feel right now. Like I don't want to be touched. I don't want someone in the same room as me. Like every time I'm in my office and I like hear my husband coming, I'm like, turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around. Like I texted my parents and I was like, I'm recording all day. Nobody come in here. Nobody come upstairs. And then I like heard the door open and I was like, what are you doing up here? What's going on? I don't want anyone near me right now. And that I just feel like my energy is very sensitive right now.
Me too. I'm like totally on the same page, and I'm just so irritable, and like the tiniest thing will piss me off.
Yeah.
You know, like Lauren threw away a cap of like a drink, and I was like, well, I was going to save that. Do you want to like go out and buy me a new one? She's like, all right. So like pissed off by like the dumbest thing in the world. And and I'm just like praying. I'm like, go to sleep by 9, please, so I can have the entire night
so I can be
just
alone.
to like not speak to anybody.
Yes. I was so angry at Rob last night because I had told him ahead of time that Thursday night, I look up when there's Ranger games on because I know that if there's a Ranger game on, he'll go into the living room and watch that. So I was like, okay, there's a Ranger game on tonight at 7:30. He'll put Arya down and then I can be in the room watching the new season of Bridgerton and reading my book. So I told him that. He comes in and it's like literally the last minute of like the first episode, and like the two lead characters like were, the tension was tensioning, like they were like about to kiss, and he like comes in, he's like, we have to watch Housewives of Salt Lake City, and I was like, my hand went up and I was like, stop, get out, get out, get out, get out. And then he like comes in and he's like, we need to watch it, it's on the DVR, like and I was like, I have no obligation to watch something with you. I told you I was gonna be in here, and I was like, you don't respect my wishes, you don't respect my needs.
I think it's a real thing. And especially since like COVID, and that's what I felt like the other day. I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
wish you worked in an office.
Yeah. Can't
Not
wait for
me.
you.
I should be here.
Yeah.
But, you
I'm
know,
here. Yes, I am in the bedroom. You are in a different part of the house.
right. I'm like, and she is. She could have like a whole apartment downstairs. And I'm like, do not come up.
Yeah. Yeah.
For any reason whatsoever.
It is so real.
No, but like since COVID, we've been together and on top of each other for 6 straight years. I'm like, we need space so like I can actually miss you, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like we both work from home and I and overstimulated was the word yesterday. It's just like Iggy was barking, it would like set me off because I would be like startled all of a sudden, you know? And like any weird sound, I would just be like, oh my God. It was just like all way too much for me to handle. And I think that's why the irritability is kicking in, is because like my nervous system is like, I need a break and I need quiet and I need to just like recenter. And like we do not get the chance.
Right. Exactly. And I feel very much the same way. Like, you know, same thing like COVID, but then Rob went into the city for a while. And ever since he stopped going into the city, it's felt very much like that. And I feel the same way. Like Stella puked on my couch yesterday in my office and then again on my couch today. And I was like, and it's so funny because it's like the minute that Aria, like if she goes to school or she goes to bed, the minute that she stops following me around because she wants to be with me whenever she sees me, then the cat starts following. Then I have a cat shadow. Like if I go downstairs to get coffee, the cat follows me down. Like no matter where she, like I have shadows. And, you know, so it's interesting. So something that I channeled through this week. So like you and I had spoke a little bit about how like it's been feeling really heavy, the energy. And after we spoke, I went into meditation and I channeled Joshun. And I was like, Joshy, what's going on? And I had told you I hadn't channeled him in a while. Like I hadn't been channeling. I haven't been taking care of myself in that way. So I was channeling him. And what came through was that a lot of this heaviness is actually, it's not a influx of energy, it's actually a depletion of energy. So what we're talking about in terms of our nervous systems being fried, it's like a burnout, like it's a collapse of our energy, right? So like we were talking about last time, like we're a vessel, we're running through our energy. So if it's moving really fast,
you're a conduit.
Conduit, yes. We're not a vessel, we're a conduit. Sorry. My whole stance, that's like my campaign stance. Can't believe I said it wrong. But we're a conduit and it's moving through, right? So if we're moving through it really fast, like a lot of it's coming in and we're moving through it really fast, we're emptying it out. So then our nervous system goes into overdrive, right? We go into that state of like we're in that flight state, you know, of like everything is in like that fight or flight. And so what we need to do is restore the energy versus feeling like we need to move through it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's like a depletion, but you're like using your like emergency reserves versus replenishing. But I think also what I got was like replenishing doesn't look the same as it normally does. So it's going to have to be like kind of maybe a little bit uncomfortable because you're going to have to try new things in order to do that, because the energy itself is just so heavy. Like I told you, I'm like, it feels like it's thick, but it feels like a cast iron like sandwich press. This giant
like
one.
It's like a
panini
panini press.
press is like literally pushing us down, and then we're trying our best to like scurry and work under this immense pressure, you know. And it's like, okay, well maybe the things you normally would do are not accessible right now, you know. So like for you having alone time, and I mean you are getting some this weekend, but Rob's still there, your parents are still there, you know. So it's like, how do you get alone time in that environment, right?
I lock myself in the office, and I need to restore my energy by doing by doing energy work. Like I have to bring in the light and the energy that I do for others. And this is exactly what you had said to me. And I think, the other piece of this is, and this is what also had come in from Josh, is like, okay, so there are these forces, we've talked about this before, like positive and negative in the universe, right? So it's almost like this fog is rolling in, this like really thick, energetic fog. And so those of us that are shining our light, like who are light beings, who are really sensitive and who are trying to help others and doing this work, we're also burning out because we're trying to shine our light through this really heavy fog and this really heavy energy. So also working in overdrive because of that. So like, I do think that there's also like this piece of it where like the people who are here to do the light work are really struggling right now because we're trying to help so many other people and shining a light through what is like a really heavy, dark fog that's here. And we're like still trying to shine. So we're like, we have to be brighter. We have to use more energy to get to them. And it's like, to turn them on so that they can do that too. And it's tough.
Well, I think we also said this too, is like my gifts have been coming in like super fast and super easy. So some of the protections and nervous system regulation that I would normally do to channel just aren't there because I don't have to meditate. I don't have to get centered. It's coming in like lightning fast, which is so funny because we do have this pressure, but I don't have the protection that I normally have. So I have to be really intentional about it because I don't even know sometimes when it's coming in. It's just there. Like this week has been very much like the veil is very thin.
Yes.
And you said it too. You're like, I don't even have to try, it's just really coming through. And I don't know if anybody else has been feeling this, like comment and let us know, because I think that was the weird dichotomy about it is like, you have so much pressure, but you're able to do things like you normally have to really try and do without the trying. And I think there is like, when you open up, you really should have protection. You should really have, like the meditation and like clearing your energy in some way. And I have not been doing that at all. So on top of using more energy, I am not even having the protective armor.
Right. Same. Yeah.
To protect me from that, So, and also like what I saw is we don't have the same type of support from above, whether it's cosmic, like the Council of Light. Like I see them turning away. And normally, like I told you, I see them at this like long table, like facing towards you. And now they're at this like round table having this conference because there is just like chaos going on in this like 3D world. And they are in meeting, not that they're not there to support us, but their attention is divided. So I don't think we have even the normal support of what's up there. And when I say up there, it could be all around us, but that's just how I picture it.
Right. And that's intentional. So like what came through about that is like, again, in reference to this like fog that again, like is here to distract us. It's here to clog our minds. We talk about like our missions here are to experience all the feelings, right? To experience things, to learn, right? Like Earth School, to come in with a specific mission or calling, and then also to remember who we are, right? Those are kind of like the main things that we come here for, right? And then we forget all of those things. So there are distractions that are put in place from other forces. Like not everything is all like shiny and bright, right? So like the fog comes in, the heaviness comes in the form of media, in the form of processed things. Like Joshun was saying, like it comes in through your food, it comes in through your conversations, it comes in through your television set, like it comes in through all of these things. So you all are being fed all of this energy, and they are trying to figure out how to enable those of us who are here to light up others. Because the way that I saw it was like a light going, like shining a beacon of light to another, and then them shining a beacon of light to another and another and another. And they're trying to get to us to figure out that like they don't know what to do. They're trying to fight this war that's going on. Like they're trying, and it's all about the attention of the human. So I think that you're right. Like I think it is like this like standoff almost. And they're trying to figure out like how do we get them to shine their lights without having interference, because they don't want to interfere, and they really can't interfere all that much. They can kind of like poke us and guide us, but they can't really interfere. So they're like, how do we shine our light on, how do we get Beth to restore? How do we shine her light so that she can wake up X, Y, and Z and X, Y, and Z? And like, so I think that that's what they're doing.
Right. No, and I think it's just not precedented is the word that keeps coming up. Like, not that there's never been a time like this crazy, but I just think that it's purposeful in why we feel in our bones. Like the way they're kind of getting us is through the body, right? And in your, what you said before, somatically, is like when you ignore something, normally it comes through somatically because like it needs to get your attention some way. But I don't know if we're necessarily ignoring something right now, or that's just how they're trying to get through to us and communicate to us.
Right. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it also has to do with the individual and how their energy is processed, right? So like there are some people right now who are running through their energy really fast and feeling depleted like that, like us. But then there are some people who are feeling really anxious and restless because they're holding on to too much energy, right? Like it's the idea of like the fight or flight, right? Like there's two different like ways that this can be going. Like you could be holding on to too much energy and have to move through it, or you could be like running through it too fast and be like totally burnt out. And the body is sending signals of pain, of dis-ease or misalignment to tell you where things are not gelling or where things are stuck, or maybe where you're moving through things too quickly, right? Like I'll see like a chakra, like when I'm working on somebody that's like a tornado or like spinning too fast. And sometimes I'll see one not spinning at all, and I'll kind of like put it into play. So, and I think like around those chakras, around those spaces, a lot of times is where like we have like what I would refer to as like gateways between the body and the light body. So like, for example, like the, pineal gland in your mind, right? So like, let's say like your third eye and then your pineal gland is in the same area. So maybe you're experiencing headaches, but that's also maybe because there's a block in your intuition. There's something going on there. So then the physical is the migraine that's going on, and that's where the energy is stuck.
Right. Oh, that makes sense. Like it's so funny because I have such like nausea and a stomach ache and have been feeling like my stomach is like off. And then I had therapy this week and all this like deep emotion came up. And I was like, okay, that like makes sense. It's kind of annoying. But like it was so stuck. I started hysterically crying. I'm like, wasn't even conscious that this was there before I like had therapy with you, So but I'm feeling it now because the energy is still releasing, and like but now I have the conscious like knowledge, like, okay, this is just like my solar plexus, like that was really, really blocked. And I have to allow it, like as uncomfortable as it is, like I have to allow it to just like keep releasing and releasing. Cause I've had like this emotion was from like 20 years ago, and it's been stuck there in like this block for so long. So it's not going to be one session and for an hour where it's going to hurt. It hurt before because I think your body knows before the brain. And
1000%. Yeah. That's where it's coming in.
Yes, exactly. And so then I have the session, I'm conscious, it comes from the subconscious to the conscious, and then you have to let it play out. And I think a lot of this is, we have to learn how to rest and re-energize, but we also need to like understand that it's gonna be uncomfortable, and we can't go back to our safety of comfortability and familiarity. Like we really, really have to sit in the discomfort. And I think that's like whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's just like a different new environment, like whatever it is, like you have to ride it out and it will become comfortable once it becomes familiar.
Yeah. And you can't fix everything all at once. And like something you said I think is like really interesting because like the large intestine, like I mean, this is kind of gross, but I think it's relevant. The large intestine actually is like holds on to so many emotions. Like that's like literally what holds on. And so the release of like actually going to the bathroom, releasing your large intestine is like a release. So a lot of times when people have like these large releases, like energy releases, and then they go to the bathroom, like it's like you're releasing. And I think it's funny because like I'm very into like, you know, colonics and doing like enemas. Like I'm a big, like they made me do an enema in the hospital when I was pregnant. And I was like, don't threaten me with a good time. They were like, do you want to do an enema? Like to see if you go into labor? And I was like, fuck yeah. Like love it. I was like, yeah. But like, you know, I'll set like an intention and like make it like a ritual because like it's clearing you out. Like the physical is so connected in that way. And you said something that just made like a light go off in my head that I like want to like remember and like, you know, for the book is like the idea of like the information coming to the light body communicating it to the physical body, and then it going to the conscious. Like that's the pathway in which it comes. And that's so fascinating because we ignore and we numb. And that is also like we bypass so much with medication too.
Or any addiction, you know, or dependence, you know, like I do it with food. And that's a lot of what I was talking about this week is I'm having a really hard time breaking this pattern of, because somehow I've like connected food with relaxation, like de-stressing. And but it's only at night. Like it's so weird, but like my body gets into this rhythm. 8 o'clock, I start to feel anxiety creep in. Like 9:30, it's at its height. Like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then like food starts to come into my brain. And it's like you need food, you know. So it was really like my body just is so used to this that I'm like I don't know how to like break this, but it's really fascinating what the body can really, you know, connect to. And it's not a conscious thing. Like I feel like I'm on autopilot. It's the craziest thing.
It feels like to me that it's connected to like a past life. Like I feel like these habits and these things come in like to a past life. Like it almost feels like something happening at night or something happening in the morning that you were afraid of, that you like actually like the night before like do preparation. Like I don't know, like it feels almost like war or something, like a past life where you were preparing for like going to war.
So I think it's actually ancestral. It could be past life too. But I like said that to my therapist. I'm like, I know this is intergenerational, and I don't even think it's like my great grandparents. I think it's like back. You know, because I was like, no one in my family sleeps. Like no one. Like everybody's up to like it feels like very like I don't know. I think it's just been consistent as well. Like there's not a time where I don't even know where it started. It just like, you know, I would say even farther back. Like I think it's like a really 1,000-year kind of thing where I don't know. It was just embedded in the body, and it's like a hypervigilance thing. And the only thing that gets me to sleep is food. And it's probably because they didn't have enough. It's probably that they had to be like on alert because they needed to defend themselves, because my body literally, like you said, feels like it's prepped for war.
Yeah.
You know,
well, that's what it feels like. It feels like you are prepping to like go to war, go on a journey in which you're not going to have food, like, and that's what you're doing. And it's like a safety thing. And that's why it also lives within the stomach, the sacral chakra. Like you are actually like padding that energy, like for safety, like holding on to that. Like, and that's so fascinating. And past life, ancestral, like we talked about in the episode we did on that. And if anyone hasn't listened to that, like definitely go back and listen to that. Like there's crossover with that, right? Like
I was just gonna say,
like it's
I think I could have been a past life that was my ancestral life.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like lived over and over and over again. But because I see like in my like mind's eye right now, I see like night, like I see like armor, and I see like a stone wall. Like I see like a stone wall happening, and that's like, you know, like I see you like prepping for war. So, and like that's what it feels like. And also like acknowledgement of that is that's how you break it, right? Like you move it through, and then you're like, oh, this is why this is happening. Like it makes so much sense.
It makes so much sense. And like, I don't think you can break something until you're aware, you know?
100%. So you have to be aware. And that's why like we acknowledge it, right? And that's why I tell people when I do sessions with people, and when you do sessions with people and we tell them, like that's the point of us telling you what's going on.
Right.
Like I know people go and they get sessions and they don't get like a reading per se, right? Like when we talk about like, you know, you doing the diagnosis and me doing the surgery, like you need both of those things. Like after I work on somebody and they get their like reading part, like they don't expect it because like they get kundalini or they do things where they just go into the world. I feel like it's really important to acknowledge what is in those spaces and what's being removed, because the connection in the conscious, bringing the subconscious into the conscious, is how you let it go, I think. Like truly let it go.
Right. Well, like think about it even just from this 3D world. If you want to break a habit, if you're not aware of what it is, of like what are the circumstances under which it happens, and really understanding the root cause of why it happens, how are you supposed to break it? You know, like because there's this energetic attachment to it, you know, and I don't think anybody talks about that, but there is this cord. And in order to break the cord, you need to know the cord's there, right?
Yep. Yeah. And you have to decide to break it, right? And it's like stepping into that identity, right? Like being like, okay, like, you know, it's understanding like I am no longer going to war in the morning. Like my nervous system may still be programmed to think, and my body is still programmed to think I am going to war in the morning, but I am not. Like that is not who I am. I am someone who is going to wake up in my bed in my home next to my wife. Like, you know, like that's what you're going to do. And like you almost have to like reprogram, like rewire, like reset. And when we talk about like, you know, stepping into your higher self or stepping into like a new identity, like that's kind of what that is, right? Like rewriting your environment.
Yeah, and your story. You know, and now I just picture myself as Jon Snow at that wall looking for, what were they called?
Winter is coming for you every morning.
Winter is coming every morning at 1 a.m.
Oh my God. It's so funny. I also am a late night snacker. Like I don't feel like I don't know if it's connected to anything, but like Rob will like brush his teeth and then he like doesn't snack at night and it's like 9:30 and I'm still like eating like Sour Patch Kids like in my bed. I don't know. I just like I don't care. But I need to probably be better
Moderation is fine, but I'm like, I want a meal at that time.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like it's something to knock me out, and that was the point, is like it numbs me. I don't feel the anxiety then. I don't feel like I have to understand what the anxiety is about. And that's what I keep going round and round with my therapist, is like we can identify things in this lifetime in my past. But I said to her this week, I'm like, I know it's ancestral because like, why is everybody in my family like up like this? You know, and like we physically just can't go to sleep. Like my brother, everyone has to have the TV on as like this thing that lulls you to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, food is what lulls me to sleep, but like the pervasive, like, and I'm sure it's anxiety that keeps everybody up. Like my mom is like 74, is now understanding that she has anxiety.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you have really bad anxiety and you just never acknowledged it, you know? So now it's like coming up so much because, yes, circumstance, but I think it's like for her to understand what it feels like. But I think that's what keeps every single one of us up.
Yeah.
for me, I'm like, I can't tolerate this. Like, and especially now that my nervous system is so fried from everything.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, you're going to like lean into that food so you can just numb and pass out.
Right. Right. And you're the chain breaker of this, right? Like,
Yes.
and you're here to do that. I'm here to do that. And it does make things shift physically in the 3D. And that is why the work that we do is so powerful. Like, I truly feel like, do you remember a few years ago when I couldn't sleep with my back to my door? And I had like a past life, whether it was ancestral or something. And I think it was when I was pregnant, didn't it? Like, it was like, it was all my life, but it came up when I was pregnant. And I was telling you, like, I never could sleep with my back to the door. I always have to have the door closed. Like, I am very like weird about my sleep and people being to my back. And then we had discovered this past life where like I was taken in the middle of the night. Like, it was like a really like traumatic past life. And I don't have that issue anymore. Like, that's gone. Like, and it was the acknowledgement, the removal, like, and so I really do feel like I want people to really understand, like, it's not just like, blowing smoke up our own asses and being like, we're so great, but like truly like acknowledging these things, like it really does shift in the physical. It really makes a difference. And it makes pain go away once you realize like tightness in your chest is because maybe like in a past life you were stabbed there, or you're holding grief in your chest. So your chest is really tight and you can't breathe. You have shallow breath and you don't understand why, because there's grief held there. Or your shoulders are really tight and your neck hurts because you're carrying the burden of things happening in your family. Like, there's so many things that like exist within the body if you're just listening. And that those things can shift and they can change without having to be like, well, I'm just going to take Advil to make it go away.
Right. And you can do that while you're also acknowledging it so that you can get rid of it. It's like, do you want to just accept something at like face value, or do you want to figure out why and like just not take no for an answer? You know, and I really saw that with, and it's so funny because my brother and I have chronic illness and we are so different in our approach. We were both basically told by doctors like, this is it. And his was accept what they say because they're like authority. And mine was like, absolutely not. I will figure out my own life, And it's because I'm like, I cannot do that. I need to dig. I need to figure out what it is. And that is honestly what led me to this spiritual stuff, because I was like, there has to be a reason. Like, these things don't just happen for no reason, and and then I started to understand, like, if you look up disease and trauma, that is like a huge link, because genetically disease is genetics account for 4% of disease. Everything else is environment, and environment includes trauma, and environment includes your past lives and your ancestral line. So when I came to understand that, I was like, well, where does trauma come from? Right? It's not only your experience in this life. We carry it from so many other places. And honestly, I think that's what led us to like Annie at first, and doing the past life, the Akashic records, and having these past lives come up. Again, I was like, I literally was not myself. I was screaming every morning, saying these crazy things. It was like I would black out. And Lauren's like, what you're saying doesn't even make sense, but I cannot start my mornings anymore like this.
Yeah.
And then when I went to Annie, she said it, and she said exactly what I was saying. There's no way she could have known, and she's like, the soul of your mother from a past life is attached to your heart chakra. And you need to get rid of her. So once she did that, it's never happened again. And it's been like 7 years. Or maybe that feels like 7 years. Maybe it was like 4. But like, I can't, that's not like medicine,
Right. And I think too, like, I mean, and I think it goes hand in hand with medicine. Like, I do think medicine, like, and like, we're not saying like, don't take your medicine. I had a conversation yesterday with my rheumatologist, and like, I was saying to him, like, I feel conflicted often with medicine, and you know this about me. Like, I really struggle. And he said to me, like, he was like, what you have, which is, I have psoriatic arthritis and from Lyme and all that stuff. And he was like, it's binary. He goes, it's not something like, he goes, you have it. So like, there's nothing wrong with treating it. Like, he was like, like, you're not
Right.
like failing at what you do because you are treating something so that you can do what you do. And it's just like an interesting take, because like, we can use medicine and also use energy work, and that's like a whole
Right.
nother conversation and like topic. But like, I also want people to understand that, like, we're saying listen to your body, and sometimes your body needs medicine, like, real
Right.
medicine, like sometimes it needs both. So I think that that's also part of this too, is like the bridge of the modern medicine and the ancient, like, coming together and really understanding
Right.
too how those work together.
Right. Like if I have a migraine, I can't just like understand it's like an energy block. Like I have
Right.
to
Like, if I
take
break my
medicine.
leg, like, I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
Kundalini. Like, I want, like, I feel like
Right.
people thought I was gonna, like, give birth in the forest, and, like, I very much, like, my safety, like, like, my nervous system, my safety, like, I needed to be in a hospital with a lot of people.
Right.
Like, that's what I needed, but I'm sure people thought that I was gonna just, like, give birth in my backyard. I'm sure.
Yeah. With like cartoon animals
Yeah,
coming
like, I'm
around
sure
you.
that's what everybody thought I was gonna do, but, like, and I give people a lot of
Yeah.
credit, but, like, no, like, no, too much past life trauma.
Yeah.
Hospital, need to be safe.
Right.
So, I think you kind of, have to kind of balance that too. But I just
Right.
think it's important to listen to your body, and it's all learning. Knowledge is power, man. Like, it's
Mhm.
all about that. Like, with chronic illness, with spirituality, with everything, like, the more you learn about yourself, about your soul, that's really what, moves us forward. And that's what's moved me
Mhm.
forward on this journey, is like just wanting to dive deep and learn more about who I am and why I'm here and how I can help more. And yeah, and I just think that that's like the biggest thing, that like advocating for yourself it's
Right.
knowledge.
And awareness, I would say,
Yeah.
which go hand in hand. But if you're not aware of something happening and when it happens,
Yeah.
which is knowledge, it's information.
Yeah.
But I think both go hand in hand, and it's really going to help you in making the best decisions for yourself, for being really aligned.
Mhm.
And if you do have that cloud over you or that fog, and you can't figure out the information on your own, or you can't really become aware of things, that's where we step in,
Mhm.
right? Like, I can help diagnose. Again, Amanda's going to do your surgery and remove that. So come see us. Let's get this fog out. Let's all work together so we can like have the domino effect of the light shining, and we can stop feeling like garbage and moving through mud. So,
Yes. Sounds good. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Please review, comment, do all the things. It helps us to reach more people. And we're happy to be here. We'll talk to you guys next time.
yes, bye.
Bye.